Royal Acara are one fish that I'm constantly being asked about. They're stunning in both looks and personality. So if you've ever wondered whether or not you should get a Royal Acara, let's discuss. This isn't a care guide per se, more of me sharing with you my thoughts and experiences with this fish thus far. I'd had Royal Acaras on my bucket list for years, but never really felt like I had the right setup to house them. After a slab leak in 2023 wiped out our entire downstairs and forced me to rehome hundreds of fish, I decided that when I rebuilt, that I would go for rarer, more exotic species, along with keeping some of the largest cichlids and various oddballs I've always wanted to keep. And Royal Acara were one of those fish that were way high up on the list. I currently have 4 Royal Acara, with a bunch more on their way. My largest Royal Acara has been with me for about 6 months now, growing from about 2 to 3 inches to around 5+ inches presently. This is a pretty normal growth rate for a mid to large cichlid, but slower than some other Acaras I've kept, and nowhere near the growth rate for, say, an electric blue Acara. If this fish were wild caught, then it'd be full size already. However, full size for this fish in a home aquarium is closer to 8 to 10 inches, with some reports even stating that they can hit close to a foot in length. Now these guys have an oval, almost round body shape, with bright, bold scaling and impressive finnage. So it's definitely one of those fish that stops people in their tracks. Royal Acara are bold, intelligent, and curious. He's always watching me. Kind of like that old South Park Spooky Fish episode where Kyle's fish won't stop staring at him. Except my fish isn't a serial killer. At least I don't think he is. My Royal Acara often follows me around the room, not just begging for food like most cichlids, but genuinely observing and curious about what I'm up to. So much more like a Severum or a Waru in that respect. And these guys are really tough to film because the second I bring out a camera, they're gone. These are very camera shy and self-aware fish. Royal Acaras are just different, if that makes sense. Whenever someone from my local fish store stops by, it's one of the first fish they ask me about. They've even asked me to breed them. I'm currently working on getting a group of 8 individuals in to grow out and see what happens. I do prefer to raise my own fish from a small size, so I can control the various factors, such as diet, tank size, tank mates, and water parameters. This allows me to better control and steer the course of their development. Feeding Royal Acaras is relatively easy. They love protein-rich foods, such as live or frozen foods, plus various high-quality dry foods, such as viper bites and bug bites. My fish tend to ignore most plant-based foods, such as spirulina, and seem relatively plant-safe overall. If a Royal Acara destroys a plant, it's more likely to be due to boredom than an appetite for that plant. And as far as temperament, mine have been semi-aggressive but generally peaceful. My Royal Acaras generally hold its own against boisterous take mates, such as electric blue Acaras, and I haven't observed this fish bullying or being bullied. However, as with all cichlids, as they mature and reach sexual maturity, their aggression may increase over time. Conspecific aggression with this fish is definitely a concern. Overall, they're generally a low-energy fish, spending most of their day cruising the whole tank while mostly ignoring other tank mates. With this fish, tank size definitely matters. These are big, strong fish that can hit 8 to 10+ inches in length. I personally wouldn't keep more than one in anything less than a 75 gallon, and up from there depending on tank mates and your stocking levels. I would also try to avoid highly aggressive tank mates with Royal Acaras. While they're not overly aggressive, they may be prone to being bullied by more boisterous and aggressive fish. That being said, this fish is definitely capable of inflicting some harm on others, especially conspecifics. I would also try to give them an interesting environment so that they don't get bored or become too territorial. I would absolutely consider this fish to be a centerpiece fish. All eyes are immediately drawn to it. Your Royal Acara will absolutely eat eggs or small fry they can fit in their mouths. As you can see here, mine repeatedly ate numerous albino bristlenose pleco spawns, despite multiple attempts to rearrange the tank and prevent this. And out of multiple spawns, I have one single bristlenose baby that has survived thus far. He's cute. As for tank mates, my Royal Acaras have been housed with electric blue Acaras, chocolate cichlids, smaller geophagus such as Tapajos or Steindachnerai, fire mouse, blue aureus, rainbow cichlids, leopard tenopomas, and have been relatively fine with all of them. Just always keep in mind that each fish has its own personality. And as I said earlier, mine mostly just keep to themselves. Overall, this fish brings me lots of enjoyment. They're definitely a more laid back and calming fish to observe. And I don't think that any video I can post can truly do them justice. Visually stunning with a personality to match. So, should you get a Royal Acara? If you have ample space, appropriately sized tank mates, and are willing to provide them with a varied, protein-rich diet, then I say absolutely. These guys are relatively easy to keep and highly rewarding. Thank you for watching and letting me share my experiences thus far. Look for future updates as my journey with this fish continues. Until next time.